Welcome to Jesse Watters Primetime. I'm Will Cain. Well, yesterday was the day that Joe Biden sold out American taxpayers and weaponized the IRS against his own people. But he'll tell you that today it's the best thing ever done for America.
And I'm about to sign the Inflation Reduction Act into law, one of the most significant laws in our history. Let me say from the start, with this law, the American people won and the special interests lost.
Now, while he sits there, smug, clapping, Chuck Schumer and Jim Clyburn by his side, telling you this is the biggest win in history, the only one's going to suffer from his so-called Inflation Reduction Act is you. On top of not actually reducing inflation, Biden is now, of course, as you know, adding 87,000 new IRS agents to the federal government, effectively doubling the IRS. They're adding $80 billion to the IRS budget over the next 10 years. And get this, 57% of that is going to enforcement. Now, the White House and Democrats tell you the plan is to make sure that big corporations and the 1% pay their fair share of taxes. But like everything else in Biden's new bill, it doesn't actually do what it says it will do. In reality, you're going to be audited and robbed blind. According to the House GOP analysis, Americans that make $75,000 or less are going to be subjected to nearly 711,000 additional IRS audits, thanks to Joe's big plan. Now, look, that makes up 60% of additional audits expected from the legislation. Now, those that make over $500,000, they're only going to get 95,000 more audits. The IRS is coming for you, and Biden's ready to make sure of it. Don't believe me? Look at this video of the IRS teaching students at Dixie State University what it's like to be an agent.
Under this scenario, these students find the owner of a landscaping company has several vehicles that may have been purchased from monies not reported through his business. After an undercover interview using a wireless mic, the special IRS agents find that Dodger, who is selling his business, has 2 sets of books.
An undercover agent for the landscaping company. They're coming for the little guy. They're coming for you. Hey, all over big cities, businesses, big and small, are being smashed and grabbed and taken advantage of by armed robbers. And clearly the IRS is looking at all these videos and thinking, hey, let's get in on the action. But the difference is these 87,000 IRS agents aren't going to have to smash and grab their way into your business to steal, although they will most likely be armed. The IRS has a stockpile of almost 5,000 guns and millions of rounds of ammunition. And by the way, a recent IRS job posting wrote that applicants have to be, quote, willing to use deadly force. Now, why would the IRS need to use deadly force? But they don't have to do that. They can just send you a paper in the mail forcing you to pay up. Now, a lot of small businesses run mostly on cash. Delis, laundromats, barbershops, all of them are now staring down the barrel of an audit gun. Think about this. Why is Joe Biden hiring 87,000 new IRS agents? Well, it could be that in part, he's helping out the IRS and then by extension helping out the Democratic Party. The union that represents the Treasury Department employees, the National Treasury Employees Union, through its PAC, gives nearly 100% of its donations to Democrats. Well, you can see what's going on here. Double the size of the IRS, double the size of the union, double the size of the contribution to Democrats. A little bit of I scratch your back, you scratch mine. And look, the IRS union, they love the Inflation Reduction Act. Why wouldn't they? Double the size. But why, again, is Joe Biden hiring all of these agents? What are they there to do? Well, they're there to get to work. And we've seen time and again how Washington operates and how it gets to work. It protects the wealthy, the powerful, without thinking about you. The ultra-rich and powerful don't play by the same set of rules as you and me. They have inside access to the system and protection from the left. And they always use it to their benefit. People like Nancy Pelosi and Polly P. and Hunter Biden flaunt their corruption in our faces without fear of any real consequences because they know that the rules do not apply. The Pelosi's can make perfectly timed stock trades. No one will bat an eye. Hunter can make millions and millions from clearly corrupt businessmen in foreign countries. He can use his dad's connections to get rich. He can give 10% to the big guy. He can be reckless. He can lose laptops. He can smoke crack. He can sleep with hookers. But do you really think Hunter is worried? Definitely not. He may be getting investigated by the federal government, but he's not worried. He knows the IRS and the federal government isn't coming for him. He's sleeping like a baby in his free $20 million South Carolina mansion. But now if you own a pizza shop or a bodega, you might not be able to fall asleep so easily because something a lot scarier than the boogeyman is coming for you. The ultra-rich, not concerned. Not concerned in the slightest. Case in point, billionaire Bill Gates. He, by the way, Bill Gates, is the Inflation Reduction Act's big money champion. Listen to this. It turns out Gates met with Senator Joe Manchin multiple times in person and on the phone when Joe was ready to pump the brakes on what they now call the climate change legislation. It's magic how it changed from the Inflation Reduction Act to a climate change bill overnight. Now, Gates was privately lobbying Manchin to get this passed and agreed to all of it in the name, of course, a mini Green New Deal. Manchin didn't want to hurt jobs in his state, West Virginia, so Bill Gates came in, turned on the charm, and promised him the world, all these new green energy jobs when Biden collapses the coal industry. And Gates got Manchin on board. The Inflation Reduction Act is just a name, but in reality, that's not what it's meant to do. The whole act is a ploy, like a snake oil salesman that came into town and sold you the magic elixir. It's a way to push forward climate change fantasies. All for Mother Earth. Right, Nancy?
How can they vote against the planet? Mother Earth. Mother Earth gets angry from time to time, and this legislation will help us address all of that.
Lay the Inflation Reduction Act on the altar of Mother Earth, or the planet will get angry, says Nancy Pelosi. Now, Mother Earth will be happy because sacrifices have been made. You, on the other hand, not so much. This bill isn't designed to help you. No, no, no. It's not actually going to reduce inflation. Democrats will even tell you that themselves.
I want to take a moment to say a few words about the so-called Inflation Reduction Act that we are debating this evening. And I say so-called, by the way, because according to the CBO and other economic organizations who have studied this bill, it will in fact have a minimal impact on inflation.
I thought bait and switch was against the law. It's all about climate change. And how are they going to pay to make all these green dreams come true? Well, they're hiring tax warriors, 87,000 of them, to go after you and take your money. But the IRS isn't coming for people like Joe Manchin and Bill Gates. Even if they did, Gates and Manchin can definitely afford it. Manchin's worth millions. He drives around in a Maserati. He can afford to get audited. Gates has so much money, he really, honestly, he stopped being a real person.
This company, Nature's Find, is using fungi, and then they turn them into sausage and yogurt. Pretty amazing.
When you say fungi, do you mean like a mushroom or a microbe?
It's a microbe. This is the yogurt.
Oh, that's good.
Wow.
Yum. He can afford a team of high-priced accountants. Can you? And while we're at it, does the federal government even deserve to be spending all your hard-earned money? Definitely not, especially how has it been going through COVID? They spent trillions of dollars on COVID relief, and billions of it is missing, stolen by people all over the country because Congress wanted to rely on the honor system. They can't account for where all that money went. The billions sent to schools, the money sent to dead people, the over $150 billion sent to people who just promised they couldn't work. COVID fraudsters, they stole billions, and poof, it's just gone. The federal government doesn't deserve the opportunity to keep spending your money, but hey, now they're armed, so they can just take it from you by force. When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail, and Joe Biden just hired 87,000 hammers. Just watch how he puts that tool to work.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.